But real quick, though, there was an incident that happened. I think I'm going to talk about it right away. Like, Jim, are you feeling okay?
A little sore, but, pissed off.
And, you're on the news last night. I hope you can – oh, what's up? Something's happening to our feed. Interrupt your regularly scheduled program with breaking news.
We interrupt this regularly scheduled program with breaking news from Dollar Club Wrestling. Dollar Club champion Rock Hard Jim was viciously attacked by a masked assailant outside of 112 North Midland Arena in Philadelphia, Pennsylvania earlier this morning. Here's security footage that we recovered from the scene. After the assault, we were able to get a few words from the not-so-enthused champion via satellite.
What do you call a man that attacks you from behind? I guess the word would be a coward. Well then what is the word for a man who attacks you from behind? It has a mix. I think the word is little bitch. You just made the biggest mistake of your life, little bitch. Because I am the champion. I am Dollar Club Wrestling, and I make the rules. So on October 27th, at Mischief Night, with the title on the line, you will be there. And you will recognize me.
If you have any information on this masked assailant, please contact your local authorities or email dollarclubwrestling@gmail.com. This is Courtney Bensley from Channel 10 News, signing off.
I'd buy that for
Recognize.
I represent everything Dollar Club.
Respect the dollar! I'd buy that for $1.
Hey! Dollar Club Wrestling Podcast. We're back. What is up, everybody? It is Thursday, and you know what time that is. And we're here for another wonderful episode. I don't even know what I can see it down there. Episode 19. Episode 19 of the Dollar Club Wrestling Podcast. And this should be a good one. We got some different topics tonight, so I'm excited about it. And as always, the Dollar King himself is here at Panetta's Sexy Time. What's up, Kev? How's it going?
Hey, pretty good, but on a serious note right now, I just want to send my condolences to Kevin Nash and his family. His 26-year-old son, Tristan, tragically passed away today. And today also would have been Scott Hall's birthday. So I can't imagine what this guy's going through right now. So if anybody wants to tweet him or send him any good vibes, just get him at Real Kevin Nash on Twitter, and just let this guy know that you're in his thoughts and prayers right now. He's in your thoughts and prayers. Poor guy.
Oh, yeah, that's horrible. Jeez. Can't even imagine that, man, especially on Scott Hall. I just read an article where he was talking about how they asked him to do something at WrestleMania for a tribute, and he said he couldn't because it was too close and he wouldn't be able to get through it. So that's tough. And also joining us once again, I think it is the man, the myth, the legend, the doctor from the PWC. Jeff, what is up?
What's going up, Dollar Club people? It's the 99 Center.
So what's going on, Jeff? Anything new? What's new?
Yeah, I'm wondering if there's any leads on the investigation as to who the assailant is. Who's El Pussy Grande? I mean, I have my own short list. I'm thinking it could be Ricochet. It could be Rey Mysterio Jr. It might be Tiger Mask himself. I'm thinking Jushin Thunder Liger is regretting his retirement. I mean, maybe Pentagon. He's sort of on a losing streak. Maybe he wants to get his mojo back. I don't know.
Well, whoever it is, do you think they have the balls to show next week?
Oh, no. They're crazy. They want to get between the irresistible force of the right and the unmovable object of the left? No.
Jim, I got an exclusive email. It's by an anonymous source. It was a hidden email. They actually got a picture of Ungato Pusse Grande, and so I made a poster of the match. It's official. He's going to be there. It's an exclusive email. Here, check it out.
Wow.
Yeah, Rock Hard, October 27th at 8 p.m. versus Ungato Pusse Grande at Mischief Night, everybody.
Look at that little bitch.
Yeah, it's exclusive. You hear it first for the first time.
Nice jacket, too, by the way.
There's something familiar. Look at those beady little cat eyes.
Yeah, maybe it's a Tiger Mask or somebody, or like looks like a luchador. Could be from India or Mexico or something.
Can't wait to rip that mask off and see who's behind it. Or
could be a Tamil tiger, El Gato.
Definitely, absolutely.
Yeah.
Oh, one thing we do know, it's a little bitch.
Yeah, you better walk around rear view mirrors.
Yeah, watch out, Gene. That guy might come at you to get out of the match. He's got those kendo sticks. Be careful.
Has Courtney Bensley gotten any tips on the hotline there at the station?
She's the one that actually gave me that anonymous tip. Yeah.
Okay.
I want to know if does she have any dollars? Is she dollar worthy?
Well, once we have our pay-per-view, we'll give a Mischief Night $1, and I'm pretty sure Courtney Bensley's going to be the winner for first $1 of the year.
Wow. Good for her. Is that nepotism?
Nah, it's just the only female on the show.
Well, El Pusse Grande might be a female.
Yeah,
El Gato Pusse Grande. We don't know.
True. He could be Pusse Grande. Could be trans for all we know too. It could be very progressive.
Them.
Well, we do know they have no balls. So
yeah, there you go. There you go.
So Jeff, I know this probably isn't or anything, but here in Philly, we're having a pretty good time. We got the Phillies, we got the Eagles 6-0. Are you becoming a Philly fan, Jeff?
No, I'm not becoming a Philly fan, but it's nothing personal about the Phillies. I gave up baseball pretty much after the '94 strike.
Did you?
Yeah, pretty much.
Never came back. McGuire and Sosa didn't draw you back in?
I mean, a little bit. I dip in here or there, but to actually follow it, like I haven't done fantasy baseball since then. Never went to more than one game a year. I don't think I've been to a baseball game in 7 or 8 years.
Wow.
Minor league. I've been to a couple of minor league games.
So you don't watch a game on TV or anything?
Never. Not unless I want to sleep.
Do you even know who's still in it?
The Phillies. I think San Diego's in it. Well, there you go.
You got to update that, Kev.
Yeah, that was last week. Sorry.
I'm not sure I know the name of the Cleveland team anymore because I know they're not the Indians anymore.
It's the Guardians.
Okay. I knew it was either Guardians or Commanders. I
Commanders is the Washington football team.
They're trying to steal money off the Guardians of the Galaxy name. I'm pretty sure the Indians.
That sounds exactly right to me. That sounds like exactly what people from Cleveland would do.
So speaking of that, are they allowed to still play the movie Major League?
I'm sure that the Cleveland Indians or Major League Baseball worked out some sort of deal. They probably, have signed some deal in perpetuity because I'm sure Major League Baseball cooperated with them during the filming.
If they were allowed to play it after Charlie Sheen's meltdown, I'm pretty sure they're okay with this.
Yeah, and they use the Cleveland Indians and all their trademarks and everything.
Well, that's what I meant.
Movie. So yeah.
It's the Indians in that movie. So
I'm sure they give themselves both, mutual irrevocable licenses in perpetuity.
The 12 people that were butthurt by the name are going to be the 12 people that are butthurt when that movie plays. So I think it's okay.
Or they'll just remake the movie.
That'll happen eventually too.
Well, there's always bad teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So Kev, what's up? What's going on with the Phillies, man? You excited?
Oh, killing it, man. Killing it. I can't wait for tomorrow night. It's like Ryan Howard and Pat Burrell again. It's been 11 years since I could enjoy baseball fully. I was rooting for the Dodgers because they had Jimmy Rollins and Chase Utley, all the ex-Phillies, because the Phillies sucked for so long too. I was always rooting for the Phillies, but on the back of my head, I was like, at least I still love Utley and Jimmy, for a while. We're finally back, baby. Finally back.
Last night's game sucked, but
last time I knew the Phillies were good was when Darren Dalton was the catcher and John Kruk was the first baseman. I think Lenny Dykstra was patrolling in your league after the Mets.
That was a great year. That was a fun team.
That was a fun year.
Kurt Schilling, I think, was a pitch for your team then.
Yeah.
He was the ace.
And
Mitch Williams was the closer.
I think the whole team, like Lenny Dykstra came to town, and I think he like gave steroids to the whole team or something because they were terrible then out of nowhere.
Nice.
Yeah, Dave Hollins, you probably never even heard of, had like 27 home runs too. Third baseman Wes Hopkins was doing great. Pete Incaviglia hit over 20 homers.
Sounds like NXT wrestling names.
They were like a wrestling team.
Yeah. Jim Eisenreich had Tourette's when he was playing too. It was pretty awesome.
Eisenreich?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not lying. He really had Tourette's. He'd be like twitching while he's batting. It was pretty cool.
Kevin Stocker.
Yeah, I forgot about him. Mickey Morandini.
Mickey Morandini.
Mickey Morandini. Their second base. Yeah, that was a great.
He's short. You need a short Italian scrappy guy to win the team, to win the league championship.
Charlie Hayes. Bill Thompson.
Willie Mays Hayes.
Yeah, he runs like Mays and hits like Hayes.
So they said last week when the Phillies played their first home game against the Braves that it was like John Smoltz said it. A lot of the reporters said it was probably the loudest they ever heard a baseball stadium.
Wow.
What do you think of that? What do you think about that? That's pretty impressive. Usually they don't like to say things like that about Philly.
No.
Well, they said if it went on for like 3 minutes, you could go deaf. It was like that loud. They said supposedly.
Yeah. Normally you associate that with St. Louis.
Oh, and Jim, that San Diego crowd, is that like the whitest crowd you've ever seen in your life? It's like it's all old hippies that look like they smell bad and smoke too much weed. I was not expecting that crowd. I think you'd see like a hot.
Isn't that the demographic there though?
I think it would be like 100% white. It's pretty crazy. It's like.
Well, I doubt the stadium's 100% white either, but I don't know the demographics out there, but that's probably it. No.
Yeah, it's just a weird crowd.
It's probably a pretty white place.
Oh, and then they have a statue of Trevor Hoffman and not Tony Gwynn. Why would you not have a statue of Tony Gwynn? He was like the best hitter ever. Best hitter of our generation.
Are you sure they don't?
They kept showing Trevor Hoffman all game. I mean, they better have a Tony Gwynn one. Jeff, who's the best hitter you've seen?
What's that?
Who's the best hitter you've ever seen in your lifetime?
The best hitter I've ever seen? Are you talking about a power hitter or all-around hitter?
All-around hitter.
Ooh. Probably John Olerud.
Okay, he was good.
I mean, that guy, he can hit for power, but, I mean, damned if he ever hit below 320.
He wore the helmet.
He was a good hitter.
Right?
Yeah, he did. He wore, yeah.
Barry Bonds, man.
Yeah, he's more power, but I think Gwynn could hit a little bit.
He hit more than power.
Yeah, he did. But I think Gwynn would bat like 370, Bonds would bat like 330, you know?
Griffey might have been the up there as well. Griffey Jr., that is, because I saw Ken Griffey play also. But I don't know. You know, Eddie Murray in his heyday, this is Baltimore, but yeah, I think John Olerud was the hardest out for, he would slap, he could get slap signals, he just could do it all. It was except hit home runs. Like I think he scratched out 20 or 21 home runs a couple seasons, but that's about it.
Yeah. Well, in the American League, it's Yankees versus the Astros. So
the Astros were the laughing stock, and then they moved to the American League, and they've been like a power team since.
They have been. They cheated.
I remember that, but that wasn't that like a long time ago, or did they just keep cheating?
It was like 3 years ago, I think, something like that.
Oh, yeah, no, they cheated also something like 10 years ago. But I know that
really?
For 5 years in a row, they purposely tanked. They did what the 76ers did. They purposely tanked them. They traded away everyone of value for 5 or 6 minor leaguers, and out of that, they got a major league team, and they've been a perennial powerhouse ever since. But their 76ers did the same thing for 4 or 5 years, and the fans hated them. They fired the GM, they fired the manager, and the next year, all of a sudden, it worked finally. And then they're like, "This was the greatest strategy of all time." And it's and I'm like, I was just here 6 months ago, and you hated every single thing about all of them.
I think the
Yeah,
coach was so used to losing, though, he forgot how to coach. Once he, Brett Brown like threw for too many years. He like forgot how to win.
See, my ex-wife was from Philly, and so her family was from Philly, so we were there a lot.
Oh, really? Wow. Nice.
Elkins Park and that was Jenkintown. Those were the two towns that were next to each other.
All right.
I go who do you got in that
by
series?
the Schuylkill and go up Broad Street and then go through Koreatown, and all of a sudden it was like in sort of like in mini Israel or something.
I got the Yankees. I want the rematch because that's the last time we made it. They beat us, so they're going to be tougher than Houston. But I want the rematch. I want to go for some blood. We already took out the Cardinals, who eliminated us. Ended Ryan Howard's pretty much career when he tore his knees against them. So I want to get. We already got the revenge on them. Let's get revenge on the Yanks, and we'll say, "Tell Ray, laugh in his face. We beat your Yankees."
Ryan Howard.
Yeah, that would be good to see. That would be good to see. So, Jeff, you mentioned the Sixers. Are you a basketball fan?
Oh, man. You know how much wrestling I watch a week? There's not a lot of time left for other things beyond, after wrestling. I mean, I watch, 3 hours of AEW. I watch 7 hours of WWE product. I watch NWA every week when it's on.
You get a life, man. Come on.
I watch wrestling.
It's a lot of boring TV you're watching.
It really is. It's true. I don't know. Then I have like 6 or 7 like other shows that I watch that are non-wrestling, and that's enough. I'll catch a football game every now and then, but I don't know. Plus, I mean, with the PWC, we do like 16 shows a week, and I have to do all of them.
Yeah, it is true. You're always on there.
You guys do them at like random times too. You never know when it's going to be on.
Do you think that's my idea?
I always see like.
8
o'clock in the morning.
Like, what?
Jimmy T is live.
There are times when that happens, and like sometimes I can do it. Most of the time I can't. But like yesterday, we busted out a show between like 1:45 and 3 o'clock, and literally he forgot I was. And it's like it's 2:55, and I had a 3 o'clock appointment, so I typed. I said I have to leave in 5 minutes. So I just ducked out. I didn't even hear the exit. And actually, I was listening to the show earlier, but I forgot to pay attention to the end. I think he just stopped when I was done. But no, I mean, I think we'd have a bigger audience and a bigger following if we did the same shows the same day of the week and the same time. And I think it would be a lot easier. But the world is not my oyster.
It could be, Jeff. It could be.
Nah, I've given up on that, Joe. I'm no longer the king of mollusks.
Kev, think the Sixers are going to do anything this year?
Oh, yeah, they're going to be great. They're going to be awesome. I just told you I haven't watched basketball in decades. Yeah,
I said Kev.
Oh, Kev. I said Jeff.
Sorry.
Yeah, they'll be good. It's pretty weird that they have the worst record. I know it's only one game, but they're the only team with a losing record, and like they've lost more games than the Eagles have this whole year, which is pretty crazy. But they'll figure it out. It's a long year.
Flyers too. I mean, I don't know what they're playing now, but I think they're undefeated too.
No, they lost yesterday.
Oh, did they?
Yeah.
So that's how much I pay attention to hockey.
Yeah, Flyers aren't the best, but we're rooting for them. They got lucky the first 3 games.
Yeah. And then, do you play fantasy football, Jeff? Or I guess
I used to. I played fantasy football every season from like 1991 until like 3 years ago, and then I back then I was the moderator of the Solid Monster Sounds Off Facebook group.
Nice.
And like literally that was like a 37-hour a day job, and I just like something's got to give. I can't be in like I was in 3 fantasy football leagues at one point. Just like I'm not even enjoying football anymore. Like I'm rooting against myself, like depending whether I'm on offense or defense or who's the quarterback. And I don't know. That's pretty good. I was in the one league that I was in the whole time, like Privity. I was only the champion once, but I came in second place like 8 times over like 27 years. And a couple thirds and fourths, but so.
Yeah, fantasy definitely changes the way you watch the game. I know that.
Yeah.
And I also think in my opinion, I think the quality of football has dropped tremendously the last few years, especially this year. You can really see it. I don't know how much you've been watching, Jeff.
Jim, real quick, Tom Brady actually said that too. He says the NFL is chock full of bad football nowadays, and that's why he can still play, because he feels that the league, the players in general, just aren't as good as they used to be. So
Yeah, I mean,
you were saying,
the athletes today, I mean, with everything there is, I think you could say they're better athletes today than there have ever been. So why do you think the quality's down so much? Are they playing other sports or?
I mean, I think the biggest reason is that defense really is. I mean, defense isn't allowed in basketball; it's discouraged in football. And I think that makes the game sloppy and it makes the players more reckless. And I think that sort of has a cascading effect. I think generally people don't work as hard at one craft. I think there's a lot of distractions. They have to worry about social media, and like even the third string safety can become a social media celebrity and sponsor things and get sponsorships and do commercials for, local gyms and health products and supplements and, cannabis and whatever. So they're all doing their own hustles because, they don't know how long their careers are going to be. And, before, nobody knew who the third string safety was unless they were a first round pick and it was a flyer. But beyond that, but now everyone can, this can be the rest of your career, so I think people focus on, if they're a gamer, they Twitch on TV, if they, or if they're funny, they do TikTok shit. I just think everyone's distracted by a lot of stuff, and they're not studying tape and probably not doing the same kind of workouts. There's also probably a lot of what we see in wrestling, like what used to be considered rites of passage went from being hazing to now it's considered abuse.
Yep, that's what I was going to say. The culture changed. Coaching would be considered bullying from the area we grew up in. Like every coach ever had, like even if you weren't lazy, you don't run one ball out, you're a lazy piece of shit. They're screaming at you, now the kids' parents would like flip out if you like said anything disrespectful at all. Like it made us stronger as players and it made us better, I think too. And when I was in kindergarten, I learned how to play baseball and to be tough. My granddad stood me up against the garage and pegged baseballs at me so I wouldn't be afraid to get hit by the ball. Imagine if someone did that to people now, he'd be in jail. It's just
should have been in jail then too. Yeah, but I think another part of it, I don't know if you guys know about the CBA that the football has, like with the practicing, like they barely practice, even in camp. So I think that may have something to do with it, because you're not really – I mean, you can watch all the film and everything you want, mental reps, whatever you want to call it, but if you're not out on the field actually physically practicing those plays and practicing over and over and over again, you're not going to be as good as, a time when that's something you consistently did every day.
Yeah, Jim, maybe like because the press comes to the practices and stuff too, and like with cell phones and everything too, they don't want to like show their cards too quick too. Like they're running these trick plays, it could like just leak online, or there could be spies filming everything.
That could be a little part of it, but I think it's mostly for the players part of it. They just, as far as injury and things like that, they just don't want to practice.
Yeah, too much money on the line where they could get hurt too, especially with full contact in practices and drills.
Well, it was also part of the trade-off to get an extra game during the season and more playoff teams.
Right. It's a wear and tear on the body. So, but one thing out of this football, no matter how bad it gets, it's not going anywhere because of fantasy, because of gambling.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it'll always be the most popular. Just those two things right there.
Yeah, and college football. I mean, college football, is tremendous. In some places, it's bigger than pro football.
Absolutely.
Especially all those states that don't have teams, they all have college teams. You have something to root for.
Yeah, like Alabama, Mississippi.
Oh yeah.
Oklahoma.
Mm-hmm. Yep, definitely. All right. Well, I guess we should talk a little bit about wrestling. So.
Oh, Jim, real quick before we get to wrestling.
Yeah.
OJ Simpson says, everyone leave Tom Brady alone. It's going to change that real quick.
Okay.
But I guess we'll talk about a story I came upon. I don't know if you guys heard about it. Kev, I showed it to you. And it's actually in the story is the owner of the XFL, Mr. Dwayne Johnson. So I read that. There we go. Kev put it up. Dwayne and Nick Khan have talked about purchasing the WWE. Did you hear about this, Jeff, or read it, or?
I heard about it, but I didn't. But that's it. Not beyond the headline.
I mean, pretty much in the article, he says that it's not something he's considering right now. Like, he kind of didn't say no, he would never do it, and he didn't say yes, I'm doing it. So it left an opening. But he did talk about how whoever, if they ever do decide to sell it, it needs to be sold to someone that actually loves wrestling, that's been involved with wrestling, not just someone that wants the profit from it. And
it's going to be sold to whoever gives the best value to the shareholders, and that's just the way it's going to go. So if the Rock can lead a group that includes, because the capitalized value of WWE right now, I mean, the share market value is about $5.5 billion. I mean, usually you in a bulk deal you get it for less, but the shareholders, if their stock is worth $72 or whatever it is now, it's not like they're going to take $47 a share. Maybe it'll take $64.50 each, and everyone gets it, because that's the way these things work. But would you
like that if he did do that? Do you think like he would make it better?
Listen, I generally can smell what the Rock is cooking.
What about you?
Wait, Kev, what do you think? It doesn't matter what you think.
I got you.
Oh, damn. You went 1997 Rock on me. Cool. Well, I agree with Jeff said. The highest bidder and The Rock would need a partner to do that. And The Rock has a big movie coming out this weekend, Black Adam. And that's a Warner Brothers film. And they gave him a lot more control than they've ever given a actor ever, I think, for one of their movies to get for that much money. And this is going to be a big weekend for The Rock. I think he paid off some critics in the beginning to give him some good reviews. But the more critics that are coming in, it's not getting the best reviews. So I think he needs $1 billion hit right here to secure a partnership with Paramount, and it's not going to happen. Opening weekend's looking to be around like 120 to 150 worldwide, probably 60 to 80 in the United States, and he was expecting more like Marvel money. So that's not a good look for him. Right there.
You know, Brother Monty is he's sometimes on Drew Yari's show. I made a post that basically during this entire ad campaign for Black Adam, there's been one commercial. There's been a couple smaller ones that are a little bit different, but even the smaller ones are usually derivative of the main one. That's never a good sign when there's only one commercial for a movie this big. Usually you have a bunch of different commercials. They've like hidden the other characters. It's clear there's like 4 or 5 other superheroes in. They're not even trying to let you know that they're there. Even the stuff they're only showing you Hawkman because you would recognize Hawkman. And if you're a deep dive person, you know who Dr. Fate is, but there's not even clear pictures of that. And he's like, you really think that's a signal? I'm like, I'm telling you, if a studio believes in their movie, they're going to put a bunch of ads out there. It's not about giving the whole movie away. It's about they're afraid of you seeing what it is. They never worry about giving the whole movie away if it's one of these, epical superhero movies. So I call that, I told him it was a bright yellow flag. I actually think it's a red flag, and sounds like that's being borne out. Listen, it's going to be on HBO Max, and if the Batman was on HBO Max 7 weeks later, this will be on HBO Max 7 weeks later. I'm an adult. I can wait.
I'll watch it early, just because I'm a superhero, Mark. I watch everything. I'm like just as big Marvel fan as I am wrestling, believe it or not, too. I think the second it drops, I'm watching everything. I know this is DC, not Marvel, but I think, too, like not having the Justice League in it, how they do have Hawkman. In the comics, he's Justice League, but in the Justice League movies, it was Aquaman, Flash, Wonder Woman, those three, and Superman. And not having them in this movie is hurting it too. I think he wanted that, and they wouldn't allow that because of all the drama going on with the studio. Ezra Miller in the Flash is almost in jail. Go look what he's doing too. You can't have him on it.
Why are they always missing the mark in these DC movies?
Not always. Batman kills it, but doesn't make as much money. The Joker made $1 billion. It's just a lack of direction. They need that studio head like Marvel has Kevin Feige. They need that one guy with a clear, definitive direction and vision, which they don't have.
Did you like the latest Batman movie?
Best movie of the year so far. Best movie of 2022.
Did you like it, Jeff?
I really liked the first 45 minutes to an hour. I thought that was excellent. Then I thought it meandered a little bit. Then I thought it got good. And then there was a really good ending, but it didn't end for another 45 minutes. So I'm going to have to say I thought it was okay. It's better than I thought it was. It wasn't terrible, but I mean, it was basically the same plot as The Dark Knight. So, I mean, I didn't really like the Riddler. I didn't really like any of the characters. I mean, Batman was an asshole. Catwoman was too young and too slinky for me. She was too skinny for me. So, I couldn't even get the Halle Berry, good feel, good vibrations.
You like Penguin? Colin Farrell killed it.
No, I didn't care. He's just the fat, obnoxious guy with a lot of scars on his face. I mean, that's not my Penguin. Penguin's a short, fat guy. I mean, he's not disfigured like that. So no, I didn't really dig it. And he was sort of a minor character. I didn't get all the praise about it. I have to be honest. I didn't get all the praise about any of it. But the first 45 minutes to an hour, I thought was brilliant, and there was brilliance in there. It just needed an editor. I mean, they always make these movies too long. Now, Joker was good, but Joker was Taxi Driver. I mean, it was the same movie.
I will give you that too. My major complaint about the film, it was 20 minutes too long. I said it's my favorite movie of the year, but it was 20 minutes too long. You should cut out 20 minutes of the film, and it would have been more universally loved. It probably would have made $1 billion if it was 20.
I think they do that with all the DC movies, though. They were too long. Man of Steel was too.
Agreed.
DC or Justice League was a little.
Marvel movies are 2 hours and 45 minutes, and they win, man. You just got to hit your marks.
They don't make them too long, though. Well, some of them, like Eternals, was too long. Eternals was bad, but I don't know. They filled the time, and listen, I thought Thor: Love and Thunder was a pretty weak effort by Marvel.
It was too cool.
But it wasn't long. It was just over 2 hours. I mean,
I think a lot of that too is that the story is that long, but in the DC movie, how many times does it end? It ends, and then it's not over.
Right, keeps going.
They're reactionary. They're trying to be like Marvel instead of doing the.
Well, follow the blueprint then.
They should have. They had about 10 years since. How many years? When did Man of Steel come out? 12 years ago now? They had 12 years to do the blueprint, and they didn't.
I mean, personally, I like the DC characters better, as far as superhero-wise, but the Marvel movies are done much better.
I have a theory about when America started going south, and there were two fundamental changes sort of around the late 70s, early 80s. One was that they put the word ain't in the dictionary, and that was the first sign that society had given up. The other is that Batman became more cool than Superman. Superman's basically indestructible, heart of gold, could be a god, but doesn't want to rule, just wants to serve. And Batman is a sociopath who claims he doesn't kill, although he clearly kills. And he's a serial groomer of young boys.
Well, 70s is when the anti-hero and the bad guy actually became more popular too. You had your Taxi Drivers, your Scarface is the 80s, but those kind of Deer Hunter, Deliverance, all bad people were more glorified too.
Deliverance, you threw Deliverance in there. Wow,
it's a good freaking movie. It's classic. Yeah. All the anti-heroes, but I'm sure the 70s started that era where the culture started changing a little bit. The directing and the movies were the best in the 70s too.
I always like Superman better than Batman personally, but
there you go. See, that's why you're the champion.
Yeah, see,
Heart of gold, Heart of gold, Prendy, Heart of gold, Jim Prendy. You don't need to be rock hard anymore.
All right, we'll change it up. So getting back to The Rock purchasing WWE? Yay or nay?
Jim, I didn't. Sorry, I moved that off on the movies. I think he would do a great job as a CEO position in WWE. He knows the thing. I'd just be worried about if he brings in too much of his family members. Like Triple H brought in DX. Like, do I really want to see Nia Jax be on my TV more? Like it depends who he brings in, because I know he definitely is a family first guy. I do love the bloodline. But are they geniuses creative? I have no idea. But I definitely would like to see it. I think wrestling could use a shakeup. Could him and Triple H work together too? I hope so. They did hate each other in the past. I think they're on pretty good terms now. But I would definitely love to see it. I don't think it'll happen, though. I think he will get a CEO position if he really, really wants it, though, but not an ownership role.
Do any of us know if he's ever run a business? I mean, I don't.
He had an XFL. He has a production company.
But does he run those things, or is he just have a title and he hires people to do it?
I think his ex-wife.
Yeah, Danny Garcia.
That's his partner, business partner. So I think she does that.
And Brian Gewirtz does a lot of writing for him in his movies still too. He actually wrote for him in the Attitude Era as well.
So Jeff, educate me a little bit on the ins and outs here. So WWE, I guess they have like a board.
Sure. Yeah, they're a publicly traded company, so they have a board of directors.
And are the McMahons on that board?
Well, some are. Vince McMahon's no longer on the board. He was the CEO, but he still is the majority shareholder, and there's some shares in a trust. He's given up some amount of shares as part of his retirement. But yeah, I mean, Linda McMahon owns shares.
So
Stephanie
who
McMahon
would make the decision who to sell to, or if to sell?
Well, I mean, offers have to come in, then the board decides on what offers to put before the shareholders, and the shareholders have to vote. But this is sort of like it's sort of like Game of Thrones. So sometimes if there's a bunch of offers, like usually one group prefers another, because all these members of the board, like one of them owns the Falcons, one of them owns a soccer team, one of them is in, they're none of them really are working on WWE. They're all because of their connections, and they sit on each other's boards. But there's also ones that represent groups from like J.P. Morgan Chase, or like the Fireman's Fund constantly is the plaintiff suing WWE in class action suits, the pension fund. So they all get usually board members have some constituency they're representing as well. So things get leaked. So you need to bring everything to the shareholders, and there's a vote. But usually it comes down to the best offer that has the least amount of falling through. So it's not always the most money, because you can have anyone who's sold the house knows that sometimes the best offer, somebody is stretching themselves too thin and it doesn't work out, or you don't trust the contingencies, or there's too many delays, or it just doesn't smell right. That happens with big business too. So, a cash deal, backed by, whatever, Bank of America, whatever, is going to do better than, 3 angel investors and 2 VCs that are hiding behind shell companies in, Wyoming.
And
so basically, go ahead, Kev.
I have a question for you too. Similar lines. Like the WWE is going to be on Disney Plus in the Philippines, but I guess it's you can just get different TV deals for different countries. Like, do they do that for on good faith, or to potentially do business in the United States when that contract's up too, or it's just all random every different country? It doesn't matter. It's all like a free for all.
I think you have to look at every market separately, but I mean, we can't ignore that the whoever the boss is of Disney Plus streaming in the South Pacific knows the people who are, and there's some overlap, and there's a hierarchy. So it's not like it's nothing, but it isn't nearly. It's not like a Clue. It's not like Disney's on the scent of it. It's just that was the best deal there, and for all involved. They are involved with Fox here with SmackDown. They're involved with Fox in Australia as well. There, and also Skynet in Europe, which is also owned by Comcast. So, a lot of the same players come up there. But if you listen to any good conspiracy, you'll know that there's only 10 businesses that own most of the media and 3 corporations that own them all or whatever it's supposed to be. So, yeah, it's sort of the same thing.
And was it Warner Brothers is about to buy Paramount or something too come April? I heard that's the big rumor now too. That's why Warner Brothers is doing all these changes and firing people. And Walter Hamada just left too.
I'm not sure about that. I mean, Discovery bought Warner Brothers. Whether or not they're also looking at Paramount, I don't know. I mean, I think Viacom owns Paramount, and Viacom is CBS. So that would be really big. CBS would have to spin off Paramount, or Viacom would need to spin it off into its own unit first to do that, because you can't have 2 networks owned by the same company. That's one of the things that wouldn't fly. I did hear though that Comcast Universal was interested in merging with Discovery Warner in 2025, something like that. I don't know why it has to wait a couple of years. It may be because you can't have so much consolidation between certain parties within a certain amount of time, or just there's certain contracts that come up or kick in at those times. But that one I heard, the Paramount one, no. But if you see Viacom spinning off Paramount into its own entity, I guess you'll know. You'll smell what the Rock is cooking.
So basically, the McMahons have control then, because they have the majority share.
Well, I'm not really sure what's happened in this shakeup. I think that Vince McMahon is still the majority shareholder, and I think that McMahon Special Trust still, I think the voting rights still remain more or less unchanged.
Well, I mean, do you think they'll ever want to relinquish that control of that? I mean, and not, not have the final say in things and just it be theirs?
I think that Vince was probably the only one that felt that way. Shane doesn't have any shares, or if he does, it's not a large position. He got rid of all of his shares 10 years ago. So he's not even part of that special voting class of stock. So it's just Linda and Stephanie. I think you have to be a McMahon, and I think just the 4 of them. So now there's only 3. So yeah, you'd probably need to get their agreement, but I get the feeling that part of this was Linda saying, Vince, I've put up with a lot. I haven't divorced you. It would look bad for you. It probably looked bad for me, but it would look worse for you. You're going to put Stephanie back in, and you're going to step aside. And Vince said, I'll do that if they keep Nick in place. They're like, Nick's cool. And I think, I'm oversimplifying things. I'm doing a lot of speculation, but I think that was part of the Treaty of Stamford.
Cool. All right. So we have a new Baron Corbin. Again. Mm-hmm. What do you got?
Wrong slide.
I like the other team better.
So JBL, I guess, is a mouthpiece for Corbin now. Is he his manager, or what's his mentor? What is this? What's going on?
So it would seem, but I mean, what a wasted opportunity. His name is Baron Corbin. You have JBL as his new, picks him up, rehabilitates him as new spokesperson. It seems like his new manager. Why wouldn't you make it Oil Baron Corbin? And why wouldn't you put him in a giant 10-gallon hat and one of those, those cowboy business suits, but it's got the piping there, like the upside down chevron, wears a big obnoxious bolo tie, a giant rodeo belt, fancy cowboy boots, alligator, and he pretends he has a southern accent. He's like, ha, 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 and starts wrestling like a blackjack or whatever. I mean, I don't know. I feel like it's a giant wasted opportunity. He's still wearing stupid fedoras, and it looks like he stole Nyla Rose's ring gear.
That's terrible. And Jeff, I heard you and Jimmy's show the other day too. That was hilarious when you said instead of Seth freaking Rollins, he should be Baron fracking Corbin.
That's all the energy puns. They're right there. I mean,
well, they should. I mean, the entrance music. What is that? Like, it's
terrible.
Still like happy Corbinish.
Mm-hmm.
I don't get that. Like,
just use JBLs or update it. Add a rock thing to it, or get. Who's the guy who's sort of country, sort of like Chris Stapleton, right? Have him do a rock riff on JBL's old thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I mean, how many different times is he going to change his character? Nothing sticks for him.
At least he's a Baron again. Baron Corbin's much better than Happy Corbin.
I still like the original Baron Corbin better than anything he's done. Yeah, since then.
It's funny, he was the lone wolf, and then he's had like a billion friends since then, you know?
He's like Batman.
Yeah, it's Justice League.
I like to work alone, except with Alfred and Robin and the other Robin.
And the girl, the girl Robin.
That girl.
That
And
girl.
Commissioner Gordon and Chief O'Hara. I agree. Baron Corbin has sort of always been sort of a it's always sort of been failure to launch. And if they just kept him as a badass, maybe it would have done it. It's like, and also for a 6'8" guy, isn't he like the least intimidating 6'8" guy you've ever seen that's not named Shanky?
Yeah, absolutely. And
Jim,
what Jeff was saying the other day too, like if you wanted to take any of his gimmicks serious, he's got to beat guys like Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins. You know, he can't just beat Ali and like Dolph Ziggler. You know, that match was great. It was too long, but Dolph Ziggler's already been beaten like a pinata. You know, like he's got to beat some big name guys for any of these gimmicks to work. Like maybe we'll go to it. He's an asshole on Twitter. He's got JBL talking for him as the biggest asshole. But you need big wins. Without taking big wins, he'll never be taken seriously. You know, like what's the point of keeping him around if you're not going to get him past that USA belt level or the King Corbin level?
Well, I mean, look when he had the Money in the Bank. That was probably the worst Money in the Bank. There's been
Austin Theory.
Huh?
Damian Sandow and Austin Theory were probably worse.
Oh,
well,
it was
Austin
bad.
Theory's isn't over yet. I mean, Braun Strowman just gave his up to be to be a nice guy, sort of like MJF cashed in his chip 2 weeks in advance, which is stupid. But the funny thing is that when Braun Strowman gave up the briefcase, he gave it up to the assistant or interim general manager, Baron Corbin, which I thought was going to be a gimmick for Baron Corbin to use it then, but they didn't because their creative was completely non-creative then, and they should have been like,
yeah,
I still have a talent competitor contract. I got the Money in the Bank, and he should have cashed it in. That would have been a great story, but they didn't do great stories then.
I feel like they keep missing the mark lately on giving the right person the Money in the Bank.
Yeah, I agree.
Always.
Sami Zayn or Riddle would have been the guys this year that would have been better for storyline wise.
It's been weird for a bunch of years. I mean, even Seth Rollins makes sense because if you want to put guys over, he's been losing a lot, but people still love him. So the Money in the Bank thing is sort of perfect for him because you don't have to rehabilitate him. People take him seriously enough anyway. But like ever since the thing with actually the first Baron Corbin, then Braun Strowman, then Otis, and then somehow he lost it in a court case to The Miz.
At least he got to make out with
Yeah, that was Otis.
Right, Otis, right. What did I say?
You said Otis.
Okay. I mean, that whole thing, it's just been a disaster for like the last 4 or 5 years. I mean, if Theory cashes in on the NXT champion, that's a pretty big indictment on Theory.
It's been big for women too. Nikki ASH winning it too.
Would you think that was a McMahon Vince thing? He wanted him to have it, and then once Vince was stepped aside, nobody else agreed with it, so they're kind of like poo-pooing it.
I don't want to get inside. I mean, the first part, absolutely. The second part, I don't know. Maybe they just think it's a little bit too quick. Maybe they think that Vince was too eager to have another young, champion, the second youngest WWE champion since Randy Orton or something. And they're like, no, the kid is good, but he's not that good yet. And we've got Roman Reigns, who's like the emperor, I mean, I can't even conceive of who can beat him legitimately now without the entire bloodline falling apart, before that happens. So I don't know what the plan was. I don't know what they're thinking in the office now. I mean, we'll wait and see. But the honeymoon period for Triple H for me has sort of run out. That doesn't mean I've given up hope or I've turned heel on him, but I mean, he's just doing Tony Khan booking too. He's got debuts and he's hot-shotting things. He's putting Ali straight into the title picture. Bayley's getting a rematch on Bianca after losing clean at a pay-per-view. That's not creative. That's not storytelling. I mean, if you insist on Bailey having a rematch, and I said this on other shows, have Damage Control beat the crap out of Bianca so that she demands the match.
Mm-hmm. Oh, and back to Austin Theory real quick. I think he's going to he's going to cash in on Braun Breaker, and then they'll bring Braun Breaker up. That's my feeling right now. That way, don't tarnish. He's been losing for months. There's no way in hell it's even going to be debatable they can have an okay match with Roman Reigns, even if he's knocked out. So I think Braun Breaker's the only way to make him look strong. If he beats Braun Breaker, takes the belt, and stays in NXT for a little bit.
I don't want to see that. I really don't. And I don't think Braun is ready yet. To be quite frank with you, I think he needs to, he seems to be loosening up a little bit, but I still think he needs to develop a personality besides just him. Because I think right now he's just him.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think he's ready to, but let's just have a feeling that's what they're going to do. And Braun may stay there, but I think he's going to get the belt from Braun. He can still stay down there if he loses it. Braun could win it back from him, but I just have a weird feeling that's what they're heading towards.
Well, they did that thing with Austin Theory so that you would get that weird feeling, so people would think that might happen. I can't say you're wrong. I wouldn't do it. I don't think it's going to happen. I don't think they're going to give up on their, one of their 24-year-olds when they're so full of 44-year-olds.
Yeah.
And there are other ways to bring Braun up. I just don't think he's ready yet. And it's a triple threat. You don't need another gimmick. You have those other guys there. And, I mean, I don't think either one of them should be the NXT champion either, but it wouldn't be the end of the world. I mean, it is what it is. They want to bring up Braun, that's fine. They'd have two Brauns.
Yeah, Braun. As long as they don't do he puts his briefcase up in a match. As long as the heel should never do that. That's dumb. A heel would never do that in real life.
Never.
No, so as long as they don't do that, I'll watch this out and see what they do.
Sure, I'm going to watch it anyway. I'm turning 54 next month. It's not like I'm going to get in. It's not like I'm going to grow up anytime soon and stop watching this shit. I will hate watch until I'm 90.
Yeah, I guess. I wonder what it'll be like then.
Cool. Hey, Jim, let me bring that picture up that I messed up real quick.
Yeah, go ahead.
Tag team.
There
Al
you go.
Bundy and King Kong Bundy. There's two greats right there. Two goats right there.
That's right.
That's a good one.
4 touchdowns in one game. Polkai.
Yeah, that was great. So, Kev, Bray Wyatt. What is he? What's the new thing? What's it going to be?
There's a lot of theories. He could be a split personality, 6 different people. It could be Bo Dallas under the Mr. Howdy mask. Could be somebody else. I know they've been signing a bunch of people on the low. He's got to have a team. Eric Redbeard supposedly signed too. So he's definitely. I think he's better leading the stable, and the less supernatural, the better. Lily's awesome. I hope they don't bring in Liv Morgan. They don't jump the shark and change characters. I don't want to see Alexa be there, but if they do bring her back, at least she already did it. So it wouldn't be as jumping of the shark. No Alexa, no Liv. Oh, sorry. Bring in a new girl if you're going to bring in anybody. Bring in somebody. Sorry, Lily. It's interesting. I think that was Bray's way of being himself for once for about 5 minutes. She got to thank the crowd and still be the heel, still be the mystical guy. But yeah, it's interesting. It has me intrigued, and I want to see what happens next.
So you think no more Fiend, or that's not going to be involved at all?
No, it's going to be a similar new character. I think it's going to be more supernatural than I want to see, but I'm hoping that it's less supernatural and more just creepy.
What do you think, Jeff?
I think that we will see the Fiend again. I don't think often. I think it might be like Finn Balor with the demon, except Bray will want to do it. I think the Wyatt Six is all Bray until it's not. I'm not sure who will play the particular characters. I'm not even sure that they'll be set in stone just yet. So, I've heard the Bo Dallas rumors, but I heard that they were bringing in Bo Dallas to work in the office. like they try with Mike McGillicuddy or Curtis Axel, whatever, Joe Hennick. I didn't hear that Eric Redbeard had re-signed, but I'm cool if he did. I heard rumors about Vincent and Dutch from Ring of Honor / Impact. They were both in Horror Inc. And Vincent sort of is a skinny version of Bray Wyatt. He sort of looks like Rob Zombie. And Dutch is a big, bulbous stomached, big chested, big armed man. And he's about, and he was in the match with Brody King at Final Battle. And Brody King's a big guy. Yeah. And Dutch was at least a full inch taller than him and significantly thicker than him. So, if you wanted your Huskus the Pig, there you go. There's rumors of Jonah coming back. I mean, there's rumors of everyone coming back. But I think that, you could have the Wyatt 6 on the screen in vignettes. I don't think we're going to do like Ethan Page, fighting Karate Man where he's fighting himself, I think. But I'm not sure when the manifestations from his brain will become anthropomorphized puppets. But I desperately want those Firefly Funhouse puppets to come to life. And I've always wanted them to come to life as evil demonic puppets. Lily here has been doing the nasty constantly. That's why I can keep her under control. She's been doing the nasty with the Danhausen plush buddy.
Boy, not again.
Demonic toys. And we're gonna go to war with Tony Khan and his toys.
Oh, Lily, geez. Speaking of Lily, I think it's time, Kev.
Oh, you want to talk about some hot chicks?
Time. Yep, I think it's time.
You want to talk about some hot chicks?
Yeah.
Tora's better as a heel, isn't she? Speaking of Braun Breaker.
That for $1.
Recognize. I represent everything Dollar Club.
Respect the dollar. I'd buy that for $1.
They're my favorite two looking girls in the week. Had to put them on the Dollar Report picture this week. So guys, before we get into the who won, there was a major injury in NXT. My girl Tiffany Stratton has been missing for a while, and the dirt sheets were reporting that she had a head injury, and she's starting to recover. Have you seen her recovery pictures?
Yeah, I see that her head injury is so bad that her boobs swelled up.
Yeah, I guess her heads are on her chest right now, guys. So Tiffany Stratton's head is healing up fine.
That is an excellent head doctor.
Another riveting report from the dirt sheet writers of wrestling. That's why they're the best reporters in all of wrestling right there.
Well, listen, when I get a head injury, I want you to send me to that doctor.
She can give me a head injury. Cool. All right, so that's once again, everybody. This is the Dollar Show, the weekly Dollar Report. We give $1 to eat one girl or one person. Some guys have won. That's sexy Cody Rhodes won $1. The sexiest person, the hottest person on each show gets $1. If I can't watch the show, I delegate it to somebody else, and we let the PWC pick $1 as well too. We keep a running total throughout the year. So on Impact this week, I didn't watch it, but we have Todd Brantley of the HMG, great friend of ours, great friend of Jeff's PWC down there too. We have Killer Kelly with her $2nd of the year.
I can recognize that. It looks a little bit like a cross between Gigi Dolan and Eva Marie.
Yeah, it's her. Yeah, she's pretty hot. I need to watch more Impact to see some of her work. But
never seen her before.
But that ass is pretty good. Give me an ass guy or a tit guy?
I like them both.
Yeah, how about wings or thighs?
Both. I like it all. All shapes, all sizes, all colors.
Nice.
I like them all.
Did you ever see From Dusk Till Dawn when Cheech he's like, oh, we got pussy every color. That's the voice. We got red, we got. And then on SmackDown, a first-time winner. She was a guest on the show, Miss Roxanne Perez, $1. I know Jeff disagreed with me.
That's not a very flattering picture.
Oh, look at that smile, man. She got a cute smile. Got a pretty smile.
I mean, she's cute, but listen, it's not my dollar. It's fine. You can spend your dollar however you like.
Yeah.
But I'm going to show you a picture relating to her on NXT. She's
also 20 years old. You have to remember that, like, my kids are older or basically her age, so like it feels dirty.
Well, if you want to see dirty, Jim, she got pinned pretty harshly on NXT, and look how hot this is.
Yeah, that's.
Oh, look at that ass by Rhea. You're gonna see why Rhea didn't win later on when you see the NXT winner. But Rhea's starting to look thick and fine, man. Look at that smile, that swagger. Look at the ref. It looks like he's not counting. It looks like he's like, I know he's on the other angle.
His hands down his pants.
Yeah, it is. It's like he's hand. He's like, damn, Rhea.
Woo.
Woo!
Nice.
Yeah. Then the PWC dollar goes to. You want to say it? You want to call it?
This week I know I didn't go with Scarlett. Did I go Selena Vega?
But the spicy one, her $4th of the year.
Not win it every time. Ugh.
She didn't win at all. Oh, because she wasn't on the show. They hit her car. She was on.
Yeah, she was barely on. I went with screen time. It was very close between her, Scarlett, Maxine Dupree, and B-Fab. I was between B-Fab and Zelina, but obviously I got to go with the Latinas at the end.
Yeah, I almost gave it to Maxine too, but this Roxanne was cute in the match too. Like she looked pretty good.
Yeah.
Then on Rampage we have a sweep. The PWC and the Dollar Club agreed. It's not going to get much hotter than this, Jim. The Bunny Alley. Oh my God, that was a sexy. She was barely on it too, but like that 10 seconds you caught her, you couldn't deny that.
Yeah, but that top was barely on.
That's
all it took.
I was popping out.
Mm-hmm.
Wow, nice.
Jim, do you know much about Allie the Bunny?
Not much.
Well, here's
looking at her though.
She's usually like an S&M bunny, but here's her Space Jam bunny. Not bad at all.
She can be whatever kind of bunny she wants.
That's right. And then we have a new show for the first time getting $1 today. Jeff recommended it, and we have a NWA Power dollar courtesy of Jeff Lippman of the PWC. May Valentine.
Wow.
Doesn't she look like a porn star?
Yeah.
Totally looks like she is porntastic.
Sure she isn't.
And
or wasn't.
She claims she was a journalist in Brazil. Now, funny thing is, she's been with NWA more or less the whole time because Royce Isaacs brought her in. She was with Royce Isaacs, and he left. He asked for his release, and Billy Corgan gave him his release. And Billy Corgan wasn't giving releases to people, they were far more important. They ended up just walking out on him anyway, and he didn't do anything about it. See Thunder Rosa, see Eddie Kingston. But now she's with Aaron Stevens, former Damian Sandow.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I actually was following her Instagram, but I didn't know her name. She has like a different name on her Instagram. And she always posts like lesbianic pictures with like the Viperess and some other girl, I forget too.
Yeah,
it's pretty hot.
These ladies, they know how to earn dollars from garbage like us.
Yeah. But if you say it like they're like, oh, these men are pigs, like out there, Ty Conti, a guy took a picture of Ty Conti's butt, who's Ty Conti's OnlyFans drops tomorrow. Everybody.
They weren't lying when they said thirst trap. You ignored trap. It's like map quest. Everyone paid attention to the map part. No one paid attention to a quest. A quest is not an easy way to get someplace. A quest is like fraught with peril and danger.
That's right. It's like an adventure. Okay, on Raw, me and Jeff disagreed on this one.
Oh my goodness.
I gave it to the girl that's not usually on Raw as well, Miss Cora Jade. I love Cora Jade. It's her $3 of the year, and she would have much more if she wasn't on a show against Mandy Rose. There's a little booty Cora for you guys as well.
Braun's breaking her.
Yeah, he stole her from what was his name? That nerd, that ginger nerd. He's on AEW now. Blake Christian. Blake Christian, I think his name was.
Blake Christian? Really? Didn't know that.
Yeah. Then Braun stole her. Then they fired Blake.
Well, she cashed up then. Good for her.
Yeah, she upgraded. And Jim, I don't think you know this girl. I don't think you watched Raw. But Kathy Kelly, they just hired her back. AEW gets Renee Paquette, and WWE hires this girl, Kathy Kelly, who's a freaking smoke show. Look at that top, that outfit, that swagger, man. She is a sexy one. That's her first time. Newly Raw signee. Came back. She used to be better back in the day. What do you think of that girl, Jim?
Hot, smoking.
Nice. You want me to tweet her and see if I can hook you up?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I'll see what I can do.
He is rock hard.
Always.
The hardest. All right, then. This is an obvious one. NXT, we swept this one. And Jim, she's back to blonde. Our dollar leader, $19 on the year, which is a record. She just keeps growing and growing.
I mean, it took like 45 seconds for me to realize that she was blonde again because I wasn't looking at her head.
Yeah, it's hard to look at her head.
Dude, I posted this picture and didn't notice she was blonde until I put the second picture in, and then I'm like, oh wait, she's blonde in both. I had no idea. Oh my goodness. So $17 on the year, not 19. Sorry about that. I got distracted by her toxic attraction.
She's only 17.
Oh boy, wow.
Then our final dollar, I didn't watch Dynamite, so this is the Jeff dollar, PWC dollar. And it's her second dollar of the year, and she's only been on TV for 2 weeks. Miss Renee Paquette. Miss Moxley. Miss John Moxley.
This was just a welcome back dollar. I was going to give it to Anna Jay again, but then I'm like, Renee's nice.
Yeah, Renee's a little cutie.
She's pretty.
Cool.
She's like homey, you know what I mean?
Yeah, she's wholesome. She's like, girl next door.
She was looking elegant last week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, cool. All right, but that was our dollar report for October 13th to 19th.
I'd buy that for $1.
I represent everything Dollar Club.
Respect the dollar. I'd buy that for $1.
All right, guys. Well, we're winding down. So we'll do one more little topic. Since we started out with Philly, I'm going to end with Philly. I saw the new Creed 3 trailer, and it actually didn't look bad. I like the Creed series, but the Rocky series to me is just, I'm a Philly guy. Everybody loves Rocky. How do you think it compares? Jeff, since you're not a Philly guy, let's get your outside opinion.
I've never seen one of the Creed movies.
Wow, really?
I mean, I know there's only 2, but I haven't seen either. Now, I mean, Rocky is fantastic. I mean, there were some awful movies in there also, like the one with Tommy Morrison. And
yeah, Rocky 5 should be thrown out, but all the other ones are great.
I mean, Rocky 1, 2, and 3 are great movies, and Rocky 4, while not a great movie, had unforgettable moments.
That's Kev's favorite, Rocky 4.
Yeah, I was younger, like I was a kid at the time, and Dolph Lundgren's probably my favorite villain. But even as a kid, I knew that robot was just very, very stupid. But I love that movie. I do love that movie.
Happy birthday, buddy.
Cool training scenes. He's like working out in a Siberian barn.
I mean, they're pretty.
I love how the steroids affect Dolph Lundgren instantaneously too. He's taking a needle, then he's like punching stronger instantaneously.
Well, it worked for Batman in your favorite movie, The Batman.
Oh yeah, how his back healed. Oh no, and The Batman. All right, and Dark Knight Returns too, or Rises. His back.
He put that green. The only color in the whole movie was the green liquid he puts in himself, and all of a sudden he's doing the spinneroonie. He's Booker T.
Yeah, and they did that green to insinuate that it's Bane's venom too. So they could throw that in there that it's superhero thing and not steroids or something too.
Right, it's the Bane stuff. I'm sure is totally good for you.
Yeah, it's illegal. It's probably 100 times worse, obviously.
Because Bane turned out so well.
Oh, you say the darkness is your ally, Jeff. Oh.
So what do you think, Kev? Do you think the Creed series has done the Rocky name good, or
absolutely
keeps it going, keeps the story going?
Jeff, check out the Creed 1 is very good, and Stallone even got nominated for an Oscar. It's
very. I mean, I wouldn't say it's much different than the Rocky stories. It kind of just moves it along some. So I would check it out if I were you. Definitely worth it.
Well, the second one's Ivan Drago's son. So that was, if you like the Rocky 4, I get the cheese of Ivan Drago's son, which I love that. The third one, I'm already griping a little bit about the trailer too. He's fighting a childhood friend who was a boxing prodigy who was better than Adonis Creed. But if he goes to jail, what was he, like 12 to 16? So how good of a boxing guru could he be being in jail all that time? Who could be training him while he's in jail? So that's a
self-trained, man. In jail, he's self-trained. And you ever watch what's that movie with Wesley Snipes and what's the dude's name? I can't think of it. He was in Pulp Fiction.
Samuel L. Jackson.
No, Marcellus.
Oh, Ving Rhames.
Ving Rhames, yeah. There, he was like the Mike Tyson went to jail, and
Well, that was a prison fighting movie. He didn't get out of prison, right?
well, he trained in prison.
Yeah, but everyone else is trained in prison. They're not stopped getting trained by like.
Well, you don't have the talent. This guy has the talent.
I'm gonna enjoy it for the dumb fun it is, but that was just my minor gripe looking
He's
at it.
getting kind of picky, man. You're picky. Just watch the damn movie. And I was going to ask about Halloween, but I didn't see it yet, and I don't want it ruined. I know Kev did not like it. Jeff, did you watch Halloween yet? The new Halloween? You didn't like it either? I see mixed reviews on it. Some people don't like it. Some people thought it was different, something different. Don't ruin it for me. I didn't see it yet, but
Well, we told you not to see it.
It'll ruin it for you all on its own. Nothing here on Adam Page and Moxley. Nothing.
well, go ahead, Jeff.
I don't know. Is this just a WWE show?
No, here's some. I wanted to talk about this on AEW.
Oh,
See, Wheeler Yuta is superhuman on steroids.
Not even good steroids. Just got a better diet and got a personal trainer for a year.
Well, neither me nor Kev watched Dynamite, so that's why. There's no
I like Dynamite usually, but I didn't watch it this week.
Enlighten us. What I know Paige got hurt.
Yeah, the main event was Adam Page against Jon Moxley in Cincinnati, Moxley's sort of hometown, for the AEW title. And sort of playing a little bit off, not as much as they should have, but a little bit off of the generational feud going on in the locker room of AEW. And towards the end of the match, but obviously too early, Moxley delivers a clothesline. It was like a lariat, not a buckshot lariat clothesline, closer to the JBL clothesline from hell. I mean, a strong clothesline. Looked normal. Adam Page did the head over heels, flip, and he basically broke his fall onto the mat with his face, basically, with it right on his forehead. I mean, his hand got there, but it was never there protecting him. It was all rubber. And people are saying that Moxley hit him too hard and he was knocked out beforehand. Other people are saying he was knocked out by the ring. I didn't, it looked to me like he went back and just overextended too much on it. Like, I think that was a Page thing, not a Moxley thing. But whatever it is, I don't think it's great that anyone gets hurt, but the fact that, and I don't like CM Punk either. I think he's a dick, but he was not wrong about everything he said. But it's sort of karmic that the guy who sort of stirred the pot and kept, and is the poster boy for, I don't take advice from veterans. And, that's been repeated. He said it to Jake Roberts. He said it to a bunch of people.
Yep. He said it to Bryan Danielson too.
Yeah. And now he's the one who got hurt. It's a concussion. People are saying only a concussion in comparison to a broken neck. It's only a concussion, but there are concussions, and we're all different. So he says he feels fine, but still it was not a good way to end the match. And, again, injuries in AEW are not really the exception. They're sort of the rule.
Yeah, like a lot of people were saying too that I did go back and watch a lot of Dynamite on YouTube. If you watch it like right within like a day, you can catch most of it on YouTube before it gets taken down. Mm-hmm. But a lot of people were saying too, like, why isn't AEW training these people better? AEW is not a school. They have like the Nightmare Academy or Nightmare Factory, but they're hiring already trained wrestlers. So these guys are doing it to themselves, and any bad things they take, they're putting it on themselves and allowing it. You could say ahead of time before the match, no, I don't want to take this bump. There was a standard bump that Paige does all the time, so it just was a freak accident. But when you fight that strong style all the time, you are sore. You're more sore than you would be if you were a Miz or like a softer style of WWE. So you are prone to get more injured. It's
amazing that people criticize their training, because you're right. They don't have any training, which is why I laugh every time. And people say it's the same refrain every time. Matt Hardy will work with the young guys. Christian will work with the young guys. Mark Henry will work with the young guys. Arn Anderson's working with the young guys. The Big Show's working with the young guys. Chris Jericho's. They're together one day a week, sometimes 2 days a week. That's it. They fly in, they get there for the airport. Once their match is over, they hit the shower, and either they wait till the end of the show and have a post-show meeting and go, or they just go when their part is done. They're not spending any time together. They're not training together. A few people are, and you hear about it. The Jade has been working with Daniel Bryan, but there's no PC, and that's not a knock on AEW. NWA doesn't have a PC either. MLW doesn't. Ring of Honor had the Ring of Honor dojo, but people paid to go to that school. Like the Factory, you paid to go to that school. And not everyone in Ring of Honor came out of the dojo. A lot of them did. A lot of them came out of the Japanese dojos as well. But you're right. But Adam Page, whatever AEW's training is or isn't, he's a 15-year veteran. It's not like any training was going to do him any good at this point.
Well, I think too, a lot of the, besides Bryan Danielson, maybe like a lot of the older guys are dropping to the new guys' strong style level. Like look at even Sting's doing hardcore stuff he never did in his whole career at 60. Matt Hardy and the Sammy Guevara feud, he was doing crazy. I know Matt Hardy was an extreme guy, but he's not changing his style. Like when he was broken, he wanted Jeff Hardy. He was making fun of these spot monkeys, and he became a spot monkey again. Like
now he really is broken.
Yeah, he's the broken one for real. And John Moxley definitely is a very hardcore guy. Like I feel like I'm watching a CZW or GCW match anytime he's on there. So a lot of these guys are like might be bad influences or just dropping to their influence, which should be the other way around. And maybe because they already know that these guys aren't going to listen. And CM Punk tried to push the new culture, or Cody Rhodes tried to push the new culture. And I think whenever there's competition at the top, I think the elite says, get the fuck out of here. It's our way, man. We don't need you. We're better than you. We're bigger than you. We sold out the Tokyo Dome.
Well, yeah. Sorry, I missed all that. I've been busy. I have a big match next week I have to get ready for, Jeff,
I know. You've got to train in multiple styles. You don't know what's coming out of El Gato Grande Pussy.
I have no clue. So I don't even know if he'll show up, but
Jeff,
we got a week.
Jeff, we have a Dollar Club's going to a show we're going to be at. United We Slam, Saturday, November 12th at 2022 Historic Hamburg Fieldhouse.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, we're actually going to be part of the show, and we're going to have a table, probably get some interviews. And I potentially am going to be a new character there. Uncle Slam. Hopefully it doesn't fall through.
Hey, Jeff, that's where Roddy Piper hit Jimmy Snuka with the coconut?
I did not know that. Or if I did, I forgot.
Something else really big also happened there.
I don't have it.
You don't have it?
Yep. Yeah, but Jeff, I'm going to be working for the first time with Kevin Kelly, a former Ring of Honor guy. Speaking of Ring of Honor, too.
Former Ring of Honor. He's still working with New Japan, right? Does the English commentary?
No, he's with Hamburg now. He's with the Outbreak Wrestling right now.
Speaking of commentary, the Raw.
That's his only job?
Oh, I'm sure he has more than one job. He might still be in Japan, too, but he's doing Outbreak Wrestling at least once a month. Their shows there, and they're booking there.
Oh, cool. Very good.
Yeah, speaking of commentary, I do not like the new Raw commentary. I don't
like Kevin Patrick there yet. It was good when JBL was on it.
Yeah, he's still sounding good.
Yeah, I don't like Kevin Patrick. I don't like Booker T for NXT. I'd like him for Raw. And Byron Saxton as an interviewer sucks.
Yeah,
he's terrible.
I don't mind SmackDown.
Yeah,
Wade Barrett, I think he's not bad.
Wade Barrett's good. Yeah.
I think it would have been better, like putting Barrett on Raw, maybe, and then Booker T, like you were saying, on SmackDown would have been better, and then
because Michael Cole can kind of
find somebody young on NXT.
Yeah, SmackDown, you get more of the casual viewers, and I think that they would get a kick out of Booker T more than Wade Barrett. So I think more Raw is for the more of the wrestling fan night.
I guess that Corey Graves and Wade Barrett both as the cocky heel wouldn't work, though. I guess that's probably why they put them on SmackDown. They probably wouldn't be good together.
This is true. Yeah, you're right.
All right, gentlemen. I think this about does it. This will conclude the 19th episode of the Dollar Club Wrestling.
I represent everything Dollar Club.
Hey, you're going to get people buys.
The dollar!
I was going to go to that.
Oh, sorry. That was the curtain where they're going to pull the.
You're such a premature ejaculator, man. Jeez. Jeff, tell us where we can find you and what's going on with you.
There's my Twitter right there. You can check it out there. You can follow me. I'm only like 499,000 away from 500,000 followers on Twitter. So that's my goal. You can often find me on the PWC, way too often, doing too many wrestling podcasts there, including
at any time. It could be any time.
It could be anytime. You could see me. You can listen on the download. You can go to the site and see the shows. My other wrestling podcast, which is also on the PWC, is one of the platforms, but you can also, just listen to all these shows on any regular podcast platform, is Hammerlock Hangover with Big Daddy Cool Stephen Pena. And I've got 2 non-wrestling podcasts that are related. One's called Garden of Doom. The other is called Garden Views. Garden of Doom is like more esoteric, history, alternative history, things that go bump in the night. A little bit of pop culture in there, but occult. And this month has been all dedicated to Halloween. It's been Spooktober. I've had a voodoo priestess on. I've had a matriarch of the night, a coven leader, witch, and a vampire. I have an interview with another vampire. We've covered Nazis and the occult. I've had a show about giants that are trying to take over the world. Spooky Tales from Africa, Spooky Tales from Asia, with hosts of the Asian Tapestry and Legendary Africa podcasts. So doing a thing. Garden Views tends to be more earthbound, but ironically, one of my big things there is trying to extrapolate the laws of Earth and try to predict what's going to happen with the laws of space. And I did such a good job of it that I'm actually a special advisor to the board of directors of the Space Court Foundation Incorporated, and a not-for-profit Pennsylvania corporation.
Nice.
501c3
Awesome.
in Pennsylvania. Yeah, located, I think, out of Pittsburgh.
Wow, nice.
Yeah, maybe they'll have me in, and I'll have to go through Hamburg, and I'll have to stop by and see you guys, or go to Philly and recognize you. If you come to York, I'll come up there. That's only like an hour and 15 minutes.
Nice. Once I got wheels again, I'll come to some York shows too. Anything up there, I'm going to be going to every show once it's back on the road again.
I told you to stop letting Jeff Hardy giving you driving lessons.
So, Kev, tell us everything Dollar Club.
Well, first, I found an exclusive clip from AEW Dynamite next week. This is going to be the main event. This is or pretty much 5 matches next week. Do you want to see it?
Sure.
This is AEW Dynamite next week, everybody. The future.
Nice.
That's every AEW match.
Ooh.
Oh man. So I just gave you a sneak preview on AEW Dynamite next week, guys. That's strong style.
Nobody's going to be watching that. Everybody's going to be tuned in Thursday night.
That's right.
Right? Thursday at 8.
Thursday night, 8 o'clock, everybody. Check out Dollar Club Wrestling presents Mischief Night. You get to see Rock Hard Jim Prenti versus Un Gato Pussy Grande, the masked luchador from either India or some sort of Mexico.
Parts unknown.
Yeah. Then Jeff Lippman and Jimmy T of the PWC are going to call it live on the show, on the podcast next week. So Jim won't be hosting it. I won't be hosting it too. I'm going to be doing just the production stuff, and they're going to be calling it live while it's playing on your screen right here.
It's pretty weird that you gave up hosting.
Yeah, I just got a lot of
show of the year.
I got a lot of stuff to do behind the scenes. I want to get the production stuff. I got to put in the. We have some special guest promos from our Hardcore Intercontinental Champion Sean Liam Riley. I have to have that ready. We have a special introduction video from Shadow Pat, and we have a new challenger for the Hardcore Intercontinental Championship next week too. One of the members of the Disciples of Doom, Rock Bottom. So He's got a lot of stuff going on next week. I'm going to be very, very busy. After the match, I might pop on for an interview or something to help you guys out there and show my expertise.
Do you special musical guest Johnny the Jobber?
I'm working on getting Johnny the Jobber. It's not guaranteed yet, but I'm working.
He better recognize you.
It's a tough one to get, you know.
He is. Yeah, he is. Cool. So, everybody, if you want to, and thank you, Courtney Bensley, for getting out our Dollar Club Wrestling at gmail.com email out there, and whoever emailed her, and I let her be in charge of my email address. Thank you for that exclusive picture. If you want to hit us for any bookings or anything too, hit us there. You can follow me and Jim on Twitter at Dollar Club 24/7. Me and Jeff, if there's a lot of stuff going on, me and Jeff will live tweet on there all the time too. I feel like it's just me and him talking to each other half the time, so tweet us on there, people. If you want to get some of our cool shirts, ProWrestlingTees.com, Panetta Sexy Time. We got our Dollar Club Wrestling for Life shirt. We got tons of Jim Prendy shirts, Rock Hard shirts, Recognize. We got our Acknowledge D's. You see the logo down there. If you want to challenge us for a promo, Dollar Club Wrestling, the hashtag Dollar Club Wrestling on YouTube or TikTok. You can challenge us for one of our championships. And that's it, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the show. And make sure you always respect the dollar.
And everybody, as always, I'm Jim Prendy, and if you don't know me,
I'd buy that for $1.
Recognize me. Recognize me. I represent everything.
Dollar Club Wrestling, late.
Respect the dollar. I'd buy that for $1.
Recognize me. I represent everything Dollar Club.
Respect the dollar.